Because, that's just our philosophy when it comes to emotions. Like anytime you have some kind of weird emotion, what's the Holy Spirit teaching us in this moment? And that's how you get better. But if you don't take the time to actually think that there's some kind of a positive lesson in a negative emotion, then you can't learn from it.
Hello, everyone. We are Greg and Jacquie Francis, and welcome to High Performance Parenting, where our passionate goal is to encourage you to raise champion children in a crazy world. Every week, we will bring you multiple episodes from our extensive experience of raising our six happy, healthy, successful, godly kids who are confidently equipped to win big in life.
We deeply believe that any parent who is provided with the right knowledge and continual support can raise amazing kids. And when they do, all of our futures get better. If raising up future generations of absolute champions matters to you as much as it does to us, here's how you can contribute. Like and share this podcast with everyone you know. And together, let's embrace this journey of raising champion kids in a crazy world. Okay, we're back.
Okay.
You want to talk golf?
I do. I want to go right into it, or do you have something you have?
Oh, you want our joke?
No, I don't. I don't want to be interrupted. So I want to know.
You don't want to be interrupted. You've been trying to make that happen for 20 years of marriage. How's that going?
Yeah.
Anyways.
Anywho, to continue on with some of the lessons learned in the last couple weeks since we've been doing sports, our girls have been doing their junior varsity golf. And I know we told you guys about this a little bit already, but they had a tournament the other day. And, our girls they know this year is the year of improvement. That's kind of their word for themselves, the year of improvement. They've never played on a team before. They're 14 years old. They're freshmen. They've not played on a competitive team with golf at all. So it's been a very, very stretching year for them. And I'm really proud of them because, they kept holding in. They never once said, I don't think this is for me. I don't know if I can do this. I don't want to do this anymore. They just said, the next day is going to be better. The next day is going to be better. But I will tell you, we've gotten some of the scores from some of the, different events, and our kids know they got some work to do this year. They got some work to do. Some of these girls have been playing for a couple years or even a year, so they had a little bit under their belt. Well, I went and picked up the girls. They had a tournament on Tuesday of last week, and I took them in and got them all set up and got them ready, and it's 18 holes. Again, it's like a full day for these girls. And, many parents probably can remember this kind of stuff. Like, when you drop your kid off for the first time and you're not really there to hold their hand to do it all, no matter what the age is, it's a little nerve-wracking, like golf's one of those ones that you can't be on the sideline giving them the pep talk.
Right.
Like they
let you talk to them.
Yes, exactly. It's pretty strict. Like you need to stay a distance even if you're there. And really they just encourage the parents to kind of be on the sidelines waiting for them to come back in.
Yeah.
Which is like 4 hours later. So there's not a lot of interaction to be like, you got this. Remember what you did at practice yesterday, or remember some of the things we've practiced at home, or, so periodically, I'll send the girls texts to their phone, telling them I'm proud of them, or you got this. It's one more stroke. And they've reminded me so many times how much they appreciate just getting a quick text throughout the tournament, because maybe they'll grab their phone to, write down their score or do something, right? But with that, I picked them up the other day, and Bella got in the car and she was pretty excited. She had done pretty good for herself. She was like, you know what? I got better. I feel pretty confident. Like, I think the next one's going to be my best one. She had a really good little run at the tournament. And Abby got in and her little face was like defeated. Like the big crocodile tears started. Yeah. And, I know dads have the same thing, but my mama heart started to break. And I'm in the car and I'm like driving and I'm like, what happened? What, tell me what happened. And she's like, I don't know. I just felt like I didn't do my best. I couldn't remember what strokes I got. Like the girls were trying to help me so much. Like her partner was trying to help her so much. I kept getting circle 10s and I'm like, okay. Well, it's going to be okay. Like, let's go home. Let's cool off for a little bit and let's talk about this, And so we start driving home. We get home and she got in the house and, I think, she gave me a hug and then she went and saw you, right? Mm-hmm. And so then you had an opportunity to hear how it went. And, just like everybody, some people have good days and some people have bad days, right? Bella was kind of on a good day with this. and Abby was not a good day when it. And you had an opportunity to have a pep talk with her too, chatting about all the things she does well, right?
Yep.
And reminding her of what she can do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's just part of thinking through what season and situation each of the kids are going through with these different sports right now. I mean, golf's a unique thing for our kids because they've only golfed just with me, and I try to help give them some instruction, but this is the first year they're starting to take it more serious. We've always just kind of used some used junior clubs, and, we go out and hit the ball, and their big competition is just try to beat each other. But now they're starting to go against girls who they play a lot, and you can tell they've had a lot of professional instruction. And our girls will get there, but just we've recognized that this was going to be a year that, in order for them to be very positive about this, the goal that we told them that they should have is that your goal this year is for you two to be the most improved players on the entire team.
Right.
Like, that's your goal. Your goal is to actually get your swing to start being correct. Your goal is to be able to start making solid contact with the ball all the time. Your goal, is all the scoring will come as everything gets put together. But this year alone, your score isn't really as important as the other things I just mentioned. Now, you get them out there in a competition though, and everybody else is in a different season. They already have all that stuff in place, and so now they're all concerned about scores. And so everybody around them is concerned about scores. So it's a tricky thing, but we just keep reminding them of this because, you got to start somewhere, and this is the only way you're going to get better. And again, I feel like the girls' season this year has a lot to do, of course, with the mechanics of golf, but it also has a ton to do with just learning some emotional intelligence throughout the process, right?
I couldn't agree more. And here's the thing that my kids have been learning a lot. Maybe you deal with this sometimes with yours, is everybody parents so differently, right? But some kids, they really try hard to do things with the standard that their family standard is everywhere where they go, no matter what they're doing. So that's our kids. Honesty is big for them. Yeah. Trust is big for them.
It's one of our life philosophies. It's we never give up our character to win a game.
And so what they've experienced this year is not a bad thing. It's a good thing that they're experiencing it, really, is that when they go out on these golf tournaments, they play with, maybe 6 different schools that are practicing and competing with them. And then in their foursome, they're from all different schools, and that's, I think, how they keep each other accountable and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, we were finding with Abby that she gets so flustered in the moment because maybe she's not as confident as some of the other girls yet when it comes to the tournament situation, that instead of slowing down and actually, almost playing like she is when she goes out golfing with us, you know what I mean? She just felt this pressure. So if she even forgot how many strokes she did or how much, where it landed or what's going on, she's given herself these crazy.
Yeah, she always adds strokes
because
if she's just at all uncertain if she did it right, because she just never wants it to be wrong.
Wrong.
She'd rather have it be wrong in everyone else's favor versus her own.
Right. And so we were teaching her and reminding her is that, yes, of course we have a standard. Of course we do things, correctly. We don't ever fudge anything. But can you start remembering what you have done?
Right.
Versus being well, I don't know what it was. I think it was 8 strokes. Never mind, I'll just give myself a 10.
Yeah.
Honey, I know you're flustered, but slow down for a minute. Use your clicker and everybody believes you. Nobody thinks you didn't do that.
I remember.
And so that is so funny.
Along this point, I remember, it's funny how I just remembered this, but when I was at my thriving career at Red Lobster, where I got promoted from bussing tables. This is my first year in college, or my second year, I guess. And I got promoted because remember, I was a bus boy at Red Lobster and part-time, and then I was part-time cart boy at Toys R Us. Yeah, my friends, my jerk friends used to walk through the aisles. I'd be back there stacking the stupid diaper things, and I'd hear them coming through the aisles, Jeffrey, at the top of their lungs. And I would hide back there because I'm I'm going to go knock you out.
Okay, but Toys R Us used to have their mascot was a giraffe named Jeffrey. I don't even know if Toys R Us exists anymore. So I just want to explain to people why. Here we're like thinking this is funny, but really, their mascot was this long
Anyways, okay, we're
giraffe.
enough about it already. There's some of the things I probably should never told you because you use it against me. But
You brought it up.
no, I was bringing up Red Lobster. But
No, you brought it up.
anyways, Red Lobster, I was promoted because I was such a good worker to bartender, and I'll never forget the manager. He said, "Okay, so you got to keep track of the cash drawer, et cetera." And he said, "Let me ask you a question. What is worse, if at the end of the night the cash drawer comes up short, or if it comes up with more money in it than the record show? Which one's worse?" And I said, well, I would probably think if it came up with more money, that means we probably didn't treat the customer properly, meaning that we took too much money and didn't realize it, right? And he said, actually, both are equally as bad. It isn't about whether the company made more money or the customer. He's like, both ways are improper accounting. And he said, whatever matters needs to be measured. And this is a measurement, and we got to make sure we're doing this with a level of excellence. And so it's interesting because it's like with our kids, it's like, okay, so I get it. Maybe you get flustered and you forget a score or whatever, you're not sure where you're at, and then you add scores to it. That's just as bad as removing them.
Right.
So in other words, it's like, hey, we got to tighten up here, and you got to start getting your brain focused in a little bit. You got to make sure you're on track here, because this stuff's going to matter, especially when you get more competitive.
Right. And also as an example, not only for yourself, because you don't want to make yourself less of what you really are.
Mm-hmm.
I was telling Abby, I'm like, Abby, you're getting better every game, but that's not what you're showing your coach or even yourself when you're not keeping proper track of what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're coming across like you aren't. You're coming across like you don't really know what you're doing sometimes. So we want to be able to look inside and say, you know what? No, that was a 6 stroke. I know how to count my strokes, and I'm going to write that down.
Right.
And not be confused with the fact that, something else is distracting to you at that moment.
Yeah. And, and just also it's such good season this year for us to teach them that, okay, so what is happening? Okay, so you chunked one and you looked silly. Okay, so let's talk about this a little bit.
Right.
Why are you so concerned about what you look like? Mm-hmm. What are you supposed to be concerned with? Let's get back to what we're supposed to be. How do I improve? Okay, so let's think more about our swing. What can we do to make our swing better? How can I evaluate the mistake that I made or the issue I have? How can I learn from this? What's the wisdom in the emotion? Because that's just our philosophy when it comes to emotions. Like anytime you have some kind of weird emotion, what's the Holy Spirit teaching us in this moment? And that's how you get better. But if you don't take the time to actually think that there's some kind of a positive lesson in a negative emotion, then you can't learn from it. Right.
I couldn't agree more. And on top of that, realizing that, when you do something, maybe you divoted or something like that, and you did that, don't be embarrassed where then all of a sudden you're like, I'm just going to grab that and give myself a circle 10.
Yeah.
Calm down for a minute.
Yeah.
And say to myself, wow, I didn't like that.
Right.
Breathe. I'm embarrassed.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to make it worse right now by just.
Yeah. How do you get to the point where you can chunk a shot, be frustrated for a second, allow yourself to feel it. Don't pretend like you can't feel it, but then remove it quickly, learn from it, and be like, okay, you know what? I probably rushed it a little bit. Maybe I'm standing a little bit too close to the ball, whatever. Learn something from it and go up there and just clear your mind of it. And just like a professional quarterback would do, you forget the last interception so you can throw a great pass the next play. But it takes training, and they're going through that training right now.
Which is really interesting that in football season, you can just correlate anything we're talking about right about with football. We were talking about golf, by the way, back to golf.
Football's better, but I love golf too, but I really like football.
Okay. And so I think it's really neat though, that these are the life lessons. And this is some of the things that as parents, taking the time and being present for these conversations makes all the difference in the world. Yeah. You know what I mean? We're not going to be able to do everything at all times for our kids, but it's those life lessons where it gives us an opportunity to slow down.
Yeah.
And, when that situation happens, she gets in the car. It's not what you did wrong scenario the whole time. It's what can we learn from scenario? How can we work together type thing, and being present enough. I will tell you that so many times, because we're all on the move with everything we're doing in life. Everybody has stuff going on, including things that are important. Right when those situations happen, you might not have the exact time, that moment, to deal with it. You know what I mean? You might be in the middle of doing some work, or on a call, or traveling, or dealing with another high pressure situation.
Yeah.
But it is when you put that stuff aside, and it is time to put towards your family time, that you press into those conversations and don't just leave them like they didn't happen, or not address them, or not help your child through it. Because it's not that it has to happen right that moment, but it has to happen.
Right.
We can't forget that our kids are waiting for us to guide them, to encourage them, and to help them learn. And so it's okay if it happens a little bit later, or you say to your kid, today is a very busy day for me. I'm really sorry you had a hard time. I want to take time with you. Are you available tomorrow so we can go over all of it together? I believe you did your best, but let's go over it. I see you. And I think when we do that for our kids, we make them feel seen. We allow them to, not feel like we're brushing it away. Like, what are you upset about? What's the big deal? It's just a game. Or you have so many other opportunities. Who cares? Like, they're upset. Their feelings need to be heard, and they need to be able to feel that mom and dad are going to sit there and discuss it with them so that they can move on. Because it is important to them. Like sports in their world, or whatever it is, dance in their world, or arts and crafts, or whatever it is that your child is into, they want to know that they're seen for it. Even if in those moments of frustration, you can't stop everything and help them specifically at that moment. You have to find time to do it at some point.
Right on. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening, and thanks for your love and support. We hope that today's episode added tremendous value to you and your family. It would mean so much to us if you would partner with us on our mission of helping parents around the globe raise champion children in this crazy world.
To do so, simply take a moment to like and share this podcast with everyone in your network. And we have great news. You get more of us. You can expect new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning. So be sure to consistently tune in with us and enjoy our show. See you next time.